Hey guys, what's up? I'm here in a different setting. I'm um, I'm in my living room because I'm tired of sitting in my own room doing nothing. So, that being said, it's raining. There's a lot of sound, in my own room. So, plenty of reasons to, you know, get out of that room, right? Um, it's a little dark in here. I'm a fan of it, so that's not why we're here, though, right? What we're here for is to literally just talk about the skills a second time to make sure that I didn't miss anything. And there were things I missed to make all of this a lot better. Um, and maybe I didn't give some credit to some skills that deserve some credit. That's just me, right? So we should go over them again and at least discuss them. And I think the place where I gave the less credit was probably with the Yummy Merrick, Yummy Bakor skills that were Monster Reborn and Change of Heart, and respectfully, right? Um, After watching a lot of other people, it's good to do that to make sure that you have um, outside type of opinion, right? Because you can sit and say something all day and not see something another way until someone else says it, right? And that's what kind of happened. I get it. After watching enough other speedo content creators and stuff like that, it came to my attention that I didn't give enough credit to one of the core skills and one of the Merrick skills, or the other Merrick skill that I didn't give credit to. Again, that being Change of Heart and the Monster Reborn skills. While I'm still not a fan of paying half my life points, especially with Burn at this point in time still running around, right? Um, Eventually it'll go down and maybe you'll see future play with those cards. But I think my point is, right now, you won't see that type of playability with these cards, right? Um, it's not, how would you say? It's not that they're bad. It's the fact that at this point in time, you can't use them to their full potential. Um, Again, uh, not doing damage to your opponent and not being able to attack directly with the monster that you steal is not a problem. And that's honestly the least concerning problem with these skills. It's literally the fact that paying half. And while I've heard a lot of people say, "Well, it's always live," right? Just because something's always live doesn't mean you'll always use it, right? And I get it. You want to be able to use something. Um, you want to be able to use something when you uh, when you want, right? You always want it live. And that was kind of a big problem with a lot of previous skills, is that you needed a requirement for something to be live, right? Whether it be It's My Lucky Day, whether it's the Eradicating Aerosol card, um, but with the Change of Heart and Monster Reborn skill card, it's always live, right? That's fine. And you can say it still requires a bit of setting up sometimes, but um, you know it's not as bad. Um, so like I said, it should see play going further down the line if we get Burn under control. Um, so that'd be nice. However, right? Um, it's just not. It's not. It's not worth it at this time. Yo, Klondike, shush. That was thunder, dude. Hey, quiet in there. But yeah, wow, that kind of disrupted my thoughts. I guess that's the Yu-Gi-Oh God saying, "Hey, don't disparage these cards. Yeah, I think they see play in the future. However, I think there are better ones. Obviously, I'm a fan of Relinquished, and obviously that'll be in my, you know, the front page right in front of my face the majority of the time whenever something happens for Relinquished. That's the first thing I'll link it to because I like the deck, right? But this, honestly, from, again, gathering a lot of people's opinions, this is important. It is meta relevant. It's a better fusion party, and it's a better Emma skill, which I don't even remember what it was called. But I was running the Emma skill just for the ability to get a one-turn Relinquished always. Now I'm almost guaranteed a one-turn Relinquished. All I need to do is open up 6 of the 20 cards that I play, which is almost half. And then you also include, 3 Allure of Darkness. You're getting it without using a skill, to set it up. Also, granted, the skill allows you. Oh, that rain's coming down. The skill. Oh, Inhale. Oh, Inhale. Okay. That skill allows you to do it multiple times, not just once like Emma. The skill allows you also to not be interrupted by trap cards, so you really don't have to use Jin to summon as the tribute to be immune to traps. You really don't have to. You can. I think, again, with things like Nightmare Wheel and, Spellbinding Circle becoming more, obviously, the prevalent in Burn. Even if Burn goes away, I still think you see those cards here and there as responsory action. 2 cards like Relinquish, like Thousand Eyes Restrict. But I think they're great. I think the skill's great. I think it, nothing has changed in my opinion on the skill. All it has done is reaffirm what I already felt, and that's fine. The other card that I gave a lot of praise to was Twisted Personality, and somebody mentioned in here Twisted Personality and Twister. Klondike, jeez, it's just thunder. Or was I? Oh, Twisted Personality. Someone said Twisted Personality and Twister. That is brilliant. Especially against something like Stall or Burn. Seeing Twisted Personality just fire off on any face-up card, along with Twister just popping face-up, and gaining counters towards Twisted Personality with Twister is amazing. There's still something to be said for Double Cyclone with Relinquish, but I honestly feel like if you're playing Twisted Personality, your option of back row removal has to be Twister, especially against Stall and Burn. For other cards and decks, it's fine. But even if somebody's like playing Toon World, right, and they're playing Toon Mayhem, and you go to pop their Toon World with Twister, and it doesn't happen the first time, if you have enough, obviously, skills or counters on the skill, you're going to be popping that Toon World anyway this turn. I think it's really interesting. There is a lot of usage for Twisted Personality, and even in the first live stream, I said that it is at least a side deck card, and it always will be at least a side deck card. And again, I truly believe that. When it comes to the other, Yugi skills, and it comes to the last Bakura skill, I think when it comes to the Bakura skill at least, I need to look, and I'm going to look, because I completely based the skills off of cards that I already knew. However, being human as I am, I did not, perfect to memory what cards are in the actual new structure decks, especially in Bakura's with his Fiends, right? Are the Fiends level 3? Are any of them level 3? Are they worth playing? Do they have enough attack? Do they have enough defense? I know I think it's like Earthbound Spirit or whatever it is, has 2,000 defense. That card's great, especially if you're playing the defensive game there. There's no way that you wouldn't play that card. I think, moving forward, if my computer will boot up, just looking at cards and seeing what level they are is like super duper important, obviously, right? So that's why we're going to the database to actually just look it up and just affirming ourselves to make sure that, hey, there's a point in playing the other Bakura skill card. Yeah, you know, people can make the assumption that, yeah, well, you can just play Allure of Darkness in a deck like that, and you know they wouldn't be wrong, like at all. That's honestly something that a lot of people just kind of glance over, is the fact that a lot of people are just excited about the skills now because that's like the newest thing, right? But it is important to remember that we did get actual cards for the decks, right? Um, and with that being said, if I can get to... Am I stupid? Where's the card database? Am I stupid? Oh, I'm in the... Why am I in the pendulum area for this? Makes no sense. But no, if there it is. We do gotta remember that we did have actual cards come out, right? So it is important to look through these card lists and make sure that, you know, if they're level 3s, then when you play level 3s, right? You get to play things like Enchanted Fitting Room. Yeah? Alright. Speedle, here you go. Twisted Nightmares. Going through this is really important, again, because even though your game plan here would be to play Dark Necrofear, you need level 3 Fiends. You get a level 4, 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 a level 3, and a level 6. Well, you only got one level 3 normal Fiend monster, right? So, there's no Fitting Room deck, unfortunately. However, there are a whole bunch of... And then again, you do have things like Dark Prisoner in the Merrick structure deck. Level 3 normal monster is 600 attack, 1,000 defense, and as well as a Doku Ro Yaiba, level 3 Fiend. So at least you got 3 Fiends, right? And even in something like the zombie deck, you were only playing 3 Fiends, really. However, if I'm not mistaken, the skill for Bakura says you need 4 different Fiend monsters, or 4 Fiend monsters with different names. So 3's not going to cut it. If you can find 4, and then bump it up to, you know, 2 apiece, you know, you have something there, right? But you would have to look through the other cards in the database and stuff like that. And fortunately for me, I have not completed the database that I've wanted to complete for personal use, which I should probably get back on before they start putting on more cards. Yeah. But it is interesting. We'll see where this goes. I think, like I said, a lot of people said it's cute. I don't like using the word because it feels demeaning to people who are actually going to try to play that. And when something actually comes out, we're going to look like jackasses, right? So I think it's neat, right? I think it has potential to be really good. And I think that, you know, moving forward, maybe we keep an eye out for it. Maybe we see something interesting, right? Because if you're already playing Allure of Darkness and you're playing, you know, the skill as well to search and to draw and drop a card off, basically Dark World dealings for yourself, I think it's important to keep an eye on it and see where it goes, especially with the spell cards that we have, like Creature Seizure, Faustian Bargain, and even Order to Charge, as well as Order to Smash, because I think people forget Order to Smash as a card for destroying back row. But yeah, definitely worth messing around with, and it is neat. With the Yugi skills, let's talk about the Ritual one again. The Ritual one has a lot of uses for Magician of Black Chaos, not so much for Blaster Soldier. Again, as we said in the previous one, maybe in the future we see more skills that cause destruction themselves, and then it would be the point to play Blackluster Soldier. So hold on to Blackluster Soldiers, hold on to the skills. Damn, that sucked. But as of right now, if you're going to play that skill, I think you play Magician of Black Chaos. Because not only does it protect against spells, so, you know, if someone's still playing the Eradicating Aerosol, and you get protection there, because it doesn't have to do with type, it's literally just the fact that it's there. So it's definitely interesting. And the fact that it turns it into a DMOC, Dark Magician of Chaos, is amazing. Because the fact that DMOC is such a powerful card, that it had to be banned and then eroded, is concerning. Especially now that we have in Speedles. Yes, you do have to special summon the monster in a special way. But getting a spell card back, especially powerful spell cards, and we do have a good bit of powerful spell cards in Speed Duels, right? That you can recycle that are actually really, really, really good. I do want to actually read something on that skill, though, and clear something up for not only myself, but for the people that are actually watching this. Helen Ritual Black Master. It says, activate this skill during the main phase while you control a Blackluster Soldier or Magician of Black Chaos that you ritual summon this turn. Here's the thing, right? If you summon the ritual monster, right? Summon the ritual monster. You gotta activate the skill that turn, right? And it applies. Here's a few things that concern me. It's not a... It's not the fact that it has to be a ritual monster that was summoned this turn, right? It's the fact that this card doesn't flip down. So what's a little bit confusing is the fact that you have to activate when a new one is put on field. Do you have to actually activate it? Or when we say activate, do we mean flipping the skill over and playing it, right? Either way, it's not that big of a deal, but it is really interesting to actually read card text and find little wording in it that's different. But I do think that, again, you play the Magician of Black Chaos. Magician of Black Chaos is really, really important. I actually got to take a text message. Hold on. That's weird. But yeah, I think it stopped on us for a second. I'm not sure. If it did, let me know. But again, I think you play the Magician of Black Chaos right now, right? And then eventually the new skills come out and they're destructive skills. Then you switch over to Blackluster Soldier, right? But yeah. Really, really interesting card. Where's the other one? Knight of Legend. What do I say about Knight of Legend? Again, it's like the other one. It's like the Bakor skill. It's neat. It has a lot of niche uses, and it's interesting. Apply the following skills of a Gaia the Fierce Knight. Monster, right? So you could do the Swift Gaia, Charging Gaia, right? As long as it has Gaia the Fierce Knight in his name, you're going to be using the skill, right? To do the Spiral Spear Strike effect. Here's the great thing. A lot of people saw you cannot activate set cards in the Spell and Trap Zone, and they went, "Aw, this sucks," right? And including me, I was like, that's a little bit of a drawback. But the problem is that we have Offerings to the Doomed. We have, is it Offerings to the Doomed or something of the Doomed? We have the other Offerings card, the Quick Play spell. We have the one we had just mentioned, Order to Charge, right? Guy is a normal monster. You have so many destructions, and with this, this effect that you're going to be drawing cards, right? Who cares if you skip your next draw phase? Who cares if you discard a card out of your hand? You're going to be destroying cards, and you can activate cards from your hand in your Spell and Trap Zone. You just can't set it, yeah. Yeah, it works on all the guys. As long as the name has Gaia the Fierce Knight or Gaia the Dragon Champion. That's the great thing, too. It's a Gaia the Dragon Champion monster, right? There are other Gaia the Dragon Champions, right? And the fact that this skill specifically stated that gives me hope that eventually we'll get other, other Gaia the Fierce Champions. I'm going to take a text message again. Hold on. Cuts it off or something like that. But if it does, I'm so sorry. But yeah. I have no idea if that actually cuts it off when I take text messages. However, it's really, really cool. I think Hopefully we do get another Gaia the Dragon champion monster, especially on down the line. It's really interesting to see where this will go for this deck. Again, who knows? A lot of people have been calling it cute. Again, I don't like using that. I think it's neat. I think it has some good applications, for sure. Okay, cool. It does cut it off for a moment. So that's kind of bothersome, but oh well. It's alright, I guess. That's a good way to actually get things done and not actually interrupt the stream too much, I guess. But yeah, it attacks a defense position monster and play piercing battle damage and then once per turn. Yeah, the skill is great. Is the you can't activate set cards a problem? Not really. Is it a drawback? Yes, obviously. But I can see people doing the attacks and everything, right? And then before ending their battle phase, going ahead and saying, oh, I'm going to use, order to charge for something I can't get over. And now my set cards are live again, right? So there are ways to work around it. I think with this skill, your goal is not really to just have Gaia and just like poking, right? I think your best opportunity is being able to know when to flip the skill on and off manually, right? With other card effects. Hey, what's up, man? I honestly do feel that. I feel like if you're playing Gaia, it's going to be one of those kind of, blowharded as it sounds, one of the more skillful decks to actually work around yourself as a player, as the person piloting the deck. I think it'll be really interesting to see how people shut things on and off. I still feel, and if that does happen, right, if people learn how to, flip their own skill on and off with things like order to charge and whatnot, right, I think playing Faustian Bargain, or not Faustian Bargain, but like Creature Seizure or whatever. I think seeing people also play something like Waking the Dragon, especially if the opponent's concerned about when the guy's skill is actually off, and they start popping back row, because I think popping back row is even more important in this format, not just because of burn, but because in general there are a lot more cards that we should be wary of, right? And well, like I said, with Twister and Twisted Personality, I think a lot more people are going to be popping other cards too. But with face down cards, I think especially face down cards, we'll see a lot of popping. So I think also playing something like Waking the Dragon is really nice. And then just going for something like Gaia the Dragon Champion with that too is just a nice little cherry on top. Whether it happens or not, those are little niche situations. Obviously, when people discuss strategies 100% of the time, they're only going to be relevant 90% of the time. And the other 10% are the actual true strategies that work, the majority. But I think something like that is interesting. I think the real 10% here is summoning the guy, using it as a draw engine and a piercing engine and just a great beat stick. And then just, I'll answer that in a second, what a good casual deck for speed duels is, right? I think flipping it on and off is the real strategy here to actually get card advantage against your opponent, right? As for what's a good casual deck in speed duels, like that you can actually win some games with while still having fun and not being super competitive or too in-depth, I think the answer there, I would have said Relinquished, maybe last format. This format, I don't think so. I think it's one of the more a meta-defined deck now. But I think for now, if you want, like, everything has good potential. You can play Gravekeepers, you could play Harpies if you really wanted to. Amazonis, you could play, what else? You can play Enchanted Fitting Room decks, you can play zombie variants of that. You can play Stall, you can play Burn. The game isn't expensive, right? And I think that's one thing that I will stress to everyone who asks, what do I play? I think it's find something you like, because not a lot of stuff is expensive. But yeah, one interesting niche there's a bird outside my window. There's two birds outside my window. One interesting niche alongside Spiral Spirit Strike, Night Legend can draw 4, but you discard 2 at the time, of course. Oh yeah, when you play both of them together. Yeah, that's really interesting. I think doing that as well is cool. Birds are fighting. I think it's a cool little thing. I'm pretty sure I heard Curse of Yu-Gi-Oh say that too, which is cool. I mean, if you really want to draw 4 and then chuck 2, that's fine. But again, I think it's all about learning to turn the skill off, right? Manually yourself. And with things like that, drawing 4, discarding 2, you can get to those cards that can actually turn that skill off by destroying your own Gaia. When it comes to, well, what happens if I run out of Gaias, right? Because obviously you're going to have 6 Gaias, right? You're going to have 6 Gaias, and that's not a bad thing at all. So you've got a good majority of the game to just play through, to be able to turn it off, back on. And then when you play to something like Jar of Avarice, then you've got more that you're just not going to run out. You put in, obviously the correct stuff, playing at least even just 2 Jar of Avarice, and then putting in the right cards, shuffling them back to the deck, and then with the second one, shuffling back a Jar of Avarice, and then, another one. The rest of the other cards, again, you just can create a really great loop to be able to control your opponent while still having a good, great, nice beat stick, right? I see only a few flaws with that, whether it be drawing into the right thing. If I'm not mistaken, I might be mistaken. Hold on. I don't want to say something and put my foot in my mouth because of it. You know what I mean? One more. Go back. But yeah, I think it's important to realize where you go with Gaia. Though my intention is not to push Gaia, it almost feels like there needs to be a push, right? But yeah. Add Ash and Speedos. We got DD Crow. You like DD Crow, boy? Because DD Crow's there. And I think DD Crow, because of things like Relinquish, things like, recycling decks, like with Pot of Avarice. Pot of Avarice? Jar of Avarice, right? Jar of Avarice. I think you see DD Crow being played more. But it's just dependent on what you decide to play. There are a lot of decks. Nothing is expensive. I love that about Speed Duels, right? There's not a whole lot of cards that are expensive. Not looking at, Parasite Paranoid, right? Don't play Insects. The deck's dead anyways. I honestly feel like that card falls out of grace, out of the meta relevancy after this, right? But don't play that. But everything else is super easy to just pick up, right? Nothing's cheap. I mean, nothing's expensive. I'm ruining my case here. Nothing's expensive, right? It's all within reason. It's all reasonable, right? Unless you want to like rarity bump a lot of your stuff, that's where a majority of the price for cards come from. Especially when it comes to things like structure decks. Now you have the ability to make a lot of great decks. And maybe Sky Galloping, that'd be really cool. Add Sky Galloping would be nice. But where was I? I was somewhere. There's a lot of great decks that you can build out of these structure decks, right? Literally just picking up 3 of each and spending $60, you have a great card pool to already work with, especially with something like Relinquish, right? The fact that all the cards that you need are in those structure decks is pretty great, and the fact that that's going to be a pretty meta-relevant deck is nice, right? Do you have to spend 60? No, not really, but it's nice to get every card that you need from these sets, right? And even then, you can go and pick them up from random people. Should I play a common Dark Magician or a secret one? For like regular Yu-Gi-Oh? Who knows? If you're talking about Speedos, we don't have secret rares. But yeah, like literally just picking up all those cards is like worth it. $60, right? Oh, okay, no, it's a joke. All right, fair enough. But yeah, seeing Sky Galloping Guy would be interesting. Maybe like in a pack, like part of a pack. I like to see it be played, especially the fact that it's even more generic. Instead of being Curse of Dragon, it's literally Gaia the Fierce. It's a Gaia the Fierce Knight monster, right? Um, that's for the rarity holders. Okay. Gaia the Fierce Knight monster, and then just a dragon type monster, right? You might be able to make something more crazy with that. And plus, Sky Galloping Gaia's effect is a little bit better if I remember correctly. This card, especially, you can add one Spiral Spear. Yeah, because literally you just add the Spiral Spear Strike, right? And it's from deck or graveyard, so you can, whittle things down even more. It's really good. I saw a lot of people talking shit about Thousand Eyes Restrict. Just unfortunate in that sense, because the card is good. People say it's not going to be used in attacking for game relevancy. But here's the thing, right? Here's the thing. When you use somewhere down the line the Catapult Turtle that supports the guys, obviously not now because it's TCG to a Master Endpoint. That's true. But here's the thing, right? When people say you're not going to be using Thousand Eyes Restrict for attacking into, but here's the thing, with the skill card, most viable card that could be splashed in every deck. People are debate on that. Probably Floodgate Trap Hole. Probably anything that's just like powerful spell and trap cards. Literally, they'll be put in almost every deck. That's just the way that it is. But here's the thing about the relinquish skill, right? Or like Sphere Kribos, right? Just for make sure your opponent doesn't do damage to you, discarding it out of your hand. It's another hand trap we have. But here's the thing, right? With that relinquish skill, you lose your battle phase when you activate the skill. So play something like Thousand Eyes Restrict and using that skill to fusion summon into it, right? It's a lot better because your opponent's not going to attack, because obviously Thousand Eyes says, hey, no other monsters but myself can attack, right? So Thousand Eyes, I think you'll see a lot of relinquished players playing on turn 1 if they can. And another factor is that the fact that Allure of Darkness can be used in relinquished so effectively. It's ridiculous. It's just so ridiculous how effectively that card can be used. Because look, you're literally playing the Thousand Eyes Isle Dark, you're playing Sphere Kribos Dark. The only light monster you're playing in that deck is Sinju. And that's the only non-dark monster you're playing, right? So there's so much opportunity. If Relinquish doesn't become a meta deck this format, I'll eat my shoe. Yeah, Sphere Kribos in there. It's dark. But yeah, like there's so many good cards, and you have the ability to not play ritual cards. The only problem is that if you're gonna switch skills, you need to have ritual skills or ritual spell cards in your side deck, which I think you just play advanced ritual art. You either play advanced ritual art or you play just the regular card to summon it. And honestly, I feel like you do play advanced ritual art if you're going to be playing Thousand Eyes Idol anyway, or you might take those out for playing the other ritual card. It doesn't matter, right? It doesn't matter too much. But deck's really meta relevant. I'm still worried about the little hand destruction thing that I mentioned before, that a really skilled German player is working on. I don't know how to get around that other than playing Despair from the Dark. So if we see a lot of people playing that, you just play Despair from the Dark at 3 in your side deck, or even in your main deck, so you don't have to worry about it. And even then, it's a dark, so you're going to be playing Allure of Darkness anyway. So, but I do feel worried about that still. I can see that taking a lot of top spots out of the first, especially the first few times that it happens. Just from the main fact that nobody will really expect it. I'm sure there'll be somebody who makes a more standardized version of it, especially after playing it, so many people playing it, right? That'll come out on top. And if it becomes a die roll format that is almost as bad as an all moth format, in my opinion, because it's literally the same thing, except both players have a chance to win, but it's literally who wins die roll, right? Um, concerning, but it's whatever, I guess. I don't think there's anything else I'm worried about. Water still sucks, in my opinion. It's just still not good. Machines get a little bit of a boost, especially if you're going to be playing Heavy Metal Raiders. Yeah, the card can still be destroyed, and you start with one less card in your hand. But, you know, playing Balganian and Jalago, it's alright. Penguin Torpedo. I think I saw something like that. I don't remember what it was, but I saw something on I believe it was YGO. I'm actually going to look at it again. I saw it in a daze when I woke up, so I didn't pay attention to it. I've been fighting off the urge to not have another panic attack. Should we relinquish hand trap? We have that, actually, technically. It's the Illusionist Faceless Mage. The new speed duel skills, bud. We have Illusionist Faceless Mage, where if relinquished or I think it's Thousand Eyes Restrict too, or Thousand Eyes, or Eyes Restrict or whatever. Anyway, if it gets destroyed, right? If the card's in your hand or graveyard, the Illusionist Faceless Mage, you can special summon it, and then if that card is destroyed, you can special summon a relinquished or the Eyes Restrict monster from the graveyard. So there is a loop, but yeah, there definitely is a loop. Let's see. I believe it was on here. It is on here. Penguin Torpedo. Oh my gosh, for all those penguin lovers out there, right? Because there's penguin decks. Funny enough, I'm actually gonna read this. I haven't actually read it. I saw the picture, but it can attack directly. Those are some wonky stats, by the way. 550. When this card inflicts battle damage to your opponent, you can target one level 6 or lower one level 6 or lower monster your opponent controls. Take control of it until the end phase, but negate its effects. Also, it cannot declare an attack at the end of the damage step. If this card attack, destroy it. An interesting version of Maluseek. An interesting version of Maluseek. Altergeist Maluseek. I don't like the fact that it targets, but everything else about it is great. That's nice. It negates its effects and it can't declare an attack, but like you can use it for other things, right? Obviously, you can use materials, synchro, Xyz, links, whatever, right? That's really cool. Get some damage in as well. That's kind of a big buff for penguin decks, huh? I like that. That's really, really cool. I didn't read the card. I saw the image, but I didn't read the card. Now I'm glad you told me to read the card. Level 3, 550 attack, 300 defense. It's literally Maluseek on a better level, in my opinion. I mean, it's not searchable or anything like that. Maybe it is. Maybe we'll see somebody actually put something penguin-y together. I'm actually glad that exists now. But yeah. That's cool. It's still kind of sinking in. But that's cool. Especially the fact that it's like the virtual world cards that we never got. That's interesting. If we got more virtual world cards that we never got, I'm down for it. I don't think there's anything else. Like I said, I was on water. Water still sucks in my opinion. In speed duels, Moth falls off the list. I think Burn Install gets put in check. I mean, these are all just general assumptions that everyone's making based on the cards that we have. I have no idea else. I have no idea. As for Speedo, I still want to get the panic cards that they would make for entry and skills. You're right. That's cool. Crescent Moon Rising 2020. You can quote me on that. That's cool. But yeah. Yeah, getting panic cards, responding to that other one, panic cards would be really interesting. Maybe eventually, down the line, once we get to like the end of the original Yu-Gi-Oh arc and right before we go into GX, I think it'd be cool for Matt to be like, yeah, here's some characters we didn't get to put in, and we just want to round it out for the hell of it, right? I think that'd be fun. Obviously, the power creep would be too great for those cards. There's only so much you can do with them. I think having a skill like the anime, where the the Castle of Dark Illusion is more of a protection card. You could have, I don't know, it's interesting. For sure, it's definitely interesting what we can actually accomplish and do in speed duels, because the format is so different, right? You have the ability to introduce cards that weren't even thought of at the time while still going through old formats, right? Because even then, you had like hand destruction formats, right? Um, so it's cool to actually see these types of things go on in a different way. Um, and the fact that skills breathe life into a lot of cards that were considered unplayable in regular formats from the past is really, really nice, because there are people that just loved certain cards, right? And you couldn't play them because they weren't meta relevant. Maybe you did play them, but you play them casually, but when you went to go play competitively, you couldn't play them, right? So I think the fact that skills alone do that is just a great reason for people to get into the game, right? Like, I know I'm preaching to the choir here, but I think if people go, ew, speed duels, right? I think people that play speed duels should go, no, 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 look. I want to give you 3 reasons why you should play, or at least give it a shot, right? 1, it's cheap. 2, you get to play cards that are probably some of your favorites that you never got to actually play back in the past, right? And 3, it is almost completely different playing experience in the pace of the game and how resource management and things like that work based against something like regular Yu-Gi-Oh! Now, especially what you experience on a day-to-day basis online and everywhere else, right? So I think those 3 reasons alone are why people should actually just play speed duels. This is really great reasons. Especially that first one, it should be the main selling point, right? Like, it's cheap. And it can be expensive if you want to foil out cards. But yeah, I'm waiting still for my package to arrive of the new cards and stuff like that. But it's supposed to be here today. It might be here tomorrow. Who knows for sure? But we'll see. Right? We'll see. That's the name of the game of this channel right now. I'll be uploading the raffle and a little announcement thing from Dylan probably at like, what time is it? Oh, my phone's here. I got a clock here, never mind. Probably around like 5:30, 6 o'clock-ish, Central American time. I guess Central Standard Time is what they call it, but God, my nose itches. So, just for the ones that are here right now, I guess, right? It's a raffle, and all you're gonna have to do to enter it is like the video that's posted next and comment on it. And what you're gonna comment on it is your favorite format and your favorite deck from that format. And then what we're gonna be doing is we're gonna be selecting 4 people from it, the winners, and we'll play against them in that format that they commented in. That's their favorite format, and if they win, we'll give you guys prizes, and the prizes haven't been determined yet. We were talking about certain mats, certain like old pins, and even UDS pins, and those UDS pins have some value to them. Certain cards, stuff like that, especially if they're relevant to certain formats. Certain cards specifically. But we do want to do something for you guys, especially the fact that everybody's like locked up and stuff like that. And it'll be on whatever simulator you guys want it on, right? Whatever's easiest for you. Like if y'all want to play on Dueling Nexus, Dueling Book, EDO Pro, it doesn't matter, right? We're gonna do our best to try to help you guys just play, and we're gonna be using those as videos too. Just for some fun, because I've wanted to do old format videos, but I haven't been able to because of the lockdown or the pandemic, more or less. So I think it's really cool to actually do that. But yeah. The vid isn't uploaded yet. It's gonna be uploaded later. Um, whatever. What I never got was White Castle, Dark Illusions, and Pumpkin King support each other, but the anime they were choosing were different. True. I don't get it either. Damn Konami. Damn Konami. But no, yeah. The vid will be uploaded later today. And like I said, we'll give it, I don't know, what is it, May 13th? We'll give it to, I guess, close to the end of May, maybe the end of May. Once we feel like we have enough to actually pick from for, like if we only have 4 people, like there's not really a point, right? So if we have like at least 8, right, and it's at a reasonable time, we have more, whatever, right? I think it'll be fun for people to do, especially the ones that do like to play online. Oh, also Dylan's gonna be having another little announcement in that that he wants to take on for like a side project for the channel, and it's just helping other duelists get better, right? He really likes the idea of helping other people, but you know, everything costs something. But he doesn't think it should cost, you know, $25, $50 to get help from, you know, people who've actually done well in this game, right? So that's why his thing is going to be like $1, and he'll help you with whatever deck you're doing, right? He does know what he's doing. He's very good at what he plays. He's very invested into the game, and he's very invested into the community too. That's a big thing about Dylan, is the fact that he hasn't. He's always offered his help to people at locals, but when people go no, it's kind of offensive, you know. Especially when people go, "Why would I want your help?" That's the way that it is. But yeah, one idea I had for a panic skill. No, don't come back. One idea I had for a panic skill is maybe one that forces your opponent to attack if they can. If you have a face down monster, or otherwise boost defensive attack monsters. That's interesting. But yeah. But yeah, we'll be doing any format you guys want, right? Like if you want to play this format, you want to play Necros format, Zodiac format, you know, Hand Destruction format, Yugi Kaiba format, 1999 format. What am I missing? Goat format, obviously, right? Chaos format or Yada Luck format, whatever. I'm trying to think of other ones. Just all of the other formats, right? Like Perfect Circle format and stuff like that. 2007 or 8? 9? Something like that. Pepe, thank you. Great format. That was 2016. Beginning of 2016. Any format. That's the point, right? I think it'll be fun for you guys, especially if you enjoy these formats. It becomes a lot more fun. And if you know the format well, and you know you pick the one that you enjoy better and you know how to play better, you have a better opportunity of winning, you know, whatever prize that it is that we have. Like I said, we've talked about certain mats. We've talked about certain like Yu-Gi-Oh memorabilia stuff. Really great. Certain cards and stuff like that. But yeah. And we get Esperoba, mix of Psychic Machine stuff. Yeah, I think we'll get Esperoba pretty soon. That's not really too surprising. Somebody outside? I'm just hearing things. But yeah, it'll be fun to just like mess around with and see what happens. But yeah, eventually we'll get all of this stuff, and we won't know what to do with ourselves in Speed Duel. So it took a while for Duel Links to take off too, for people to actually really enjoy it. Hopefully we'll see the whole branch of Konami actually be more interested in speed duels, especially with the OCG doing rush duels, you know. Hopefully both formats are taken a little bit more seriously, and have more people taking interest into them. But yeah, and that's going to be it for me. Just to talk about these skills and everything was more than enough, especially, getting other opinions from other people and watching their videos, how they thought about the skills. Some of them, I felt were completely wrong. and then others did a really great job of explaining themselves and why they thought a certain skill was really, really good. If I went with playing goats because I want to play you, I'll tell you what, bud. If you win, I'll play you myself. Yes, in goats. I love goat format, and so does Dylan. But you know what? Because he said that, I want to play goats. There's a certain deck in goats I want to play. So, you got it. But we'll see. You know, you got to win the raffle, but we'll see what happens. If it goes on for too long, we only have 4 people playing, then yeah, obviously you would win, right? But we do encourage you to spread the word and everything like that, but yeah. My favorite goat format, I can't tell you what my favorite goat format is, or you'll be playing against it for sure. I want it to be as fair as possible. But I like collecting goat cards too, so like, it's a lot of fun. But yeah, where was I? Oh yeah, taking the time to you know, go over these skills, and some people's skills or opinions on these skills were complete trash, and then others made a great point of explaining, you know, their opinion and why they thought so, which is great. But yeah, I think we did a good job. Just going over a second time, but yeah. I'm super excited to, you know, start this raffle for you guys. And it's Dylan's idea, honestly, it really is. I'm not going to take credit for it, but he found a way to, you know, to merge 3 things together, which was him getting involved in the channel, me wanting to do old format videos, and involving you guys and bringing you into, you know, a part of our videos, right? So yeah. But I think that's it for me, unless you guys have something else that just like I forgot, or you know, I should mention or something like that, you know. But other than that, I don't think I have anything else. But if I did forget something, please let me know. I'm open to whatever. Oh no. It's time to bring the chaos and beast. Oh no. But yeah, like I said, that video will explain everything, and we'll get it going as soon as possible. And if we have, you know, an influx of people, just we'll cut it off and be like, yep, too many entries, we'll just do it. Yeah. Have you ever seen the video where if the emperor had text-to-speech device? Something like that. I forgot. Nope. Never even heard of anything like that. I'll look for that in a minute after the stream is over, for sure. But yeah, I think that's gonna be it for me. Thank you for joining and peeping the living room of my house. The Christmas tree still back here that we haven't put back in storage. Yeah. But I think that's gonna be it. Yeah, I'm out. Look, if 4 people comment, that's a win in my book, right? That means we got the 4 people we needed for the raffle. So yeah, but I think that's gonna be it for me. I'm out again. Thanks for joining this and peeping peeping the living room in my house. But yeah, until next time, guys. This is Kevin with the hell we call it, Crescent Moon Rising now, and yeah, I see you next time. Probably around 5:30 or 6 o'clock. But yeah, till next time, guys.